Hello, everyone, and welcome
Hello.
to another edition of Heathlands themed bingo.
And as you can probably guess by Mark's background, we are playing Australia's Deadly Animals Bingo.
That's right.
Yeah, so as always, if you're a member of Heathlands, you can get one of the game cards for member stuff and play along. If you're not part of Heathlands, you can purchase the game from most good game or bookstores, get the sheets and play along. Yeah, if you can't do it today, you can look back and play in future.
Yeah.
So, it's 1 o'clock now. How long do you reckon we'll get it done in today?
I reckon just under an hour.
Ooh, go on then. Give us minutes then.
50.
I'm going to go for 56. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And I won't try and pad it out. Okay, so we'll go over to the game view and we'll get started. There we are. We're in game view. As always, we'll do a little bit of a factoid as we can. Keep them short and sweet so we can get into the time.
And as always, we will be doing a round of 5, and then at the end of each round, we will have a recap, and then this will continue until you either got a line, and then eventually a full house.
A full house. So, most line, well, you can get a line from any point after 5 cards, but they generally start to appear midway through and then become thick and fast.
So anyways, the first one of this bingo is the old wife.
The old wife.
It's a fish.
It's a fish, I know, I can see. So, the old wife. Striped carnivorous fish, endemic to temperatures, coastal waters, usually found in large schools, but can also be solitary. Dorsal fins have venomous, knife-like spines that can inflict severe pain. God, it looks such a pretty fish as well, but deadly.
The old wife. It's a fish.
Poisonous one.
Next up is the yellow-bellied sea snake.
A yellow-bellied sea snake. Most widely distributed snake in the world. Completely seafaring, it never has to settle on land. Fangs are quite short, but venom is highly toxic and can cause muscle pain. Ooh, the yellow-bellied sea snake.
Yellow-bellied sea snake. Another slight warning about these facts, they can be quite grim.
Well, it is called Australia's Deadly Animal.
Yeah, it's in the title. You can clearly see. Third one is the smooth toadfish.
Smooth toadfish. Species of pufferfish commonly found in Australian estuaries and brackish water. Can inflate its body with water or air as a defense mechanism. Highly poisonous. Many early colonial settlers suffered from horrible demise after eating this fish. Looked tasty, but it wasn't.
The smooth toadfish. Next up is the Sydney funnel web spider.
Sydney funnel web spider. Australia's most notorious spider. Highly aggressive and active in the breeding season and after heavy rains. Often encountered in houses and swimming pools. Huge fangs capable of delivering fast-acting venom in a painful bite. Ooh. The Sydney funnel web spider.
And the final one of this round is the ghost bat.
A ghost bat. Scary looking mammal named for its pale skin and fur. Like many bats, can carry diseases and viruses that are fatal to humans. Avoid entering confined spaces where ghost bats roost, and avoid breathing the air around the batty colony. Ooh. You can transfer stuff by air as well. The ghost bat.
Ghost bat. So that's the end of this round. So Careba.
Recap.
First up was the old wife. It's a fish.
With poisonous fins.
A fish with poisonous fins. That's it. Nothing else. Then we had the yellow-bellied sea snake.
I think it said it was the most
Sea
common,
snake.
most commonest snake in the world.
Then we had the smooth toadfish.
Tasty but poisonous.
There it is. Then we had the Sydney funnel web spider.
Deadly. Does not turn you into a Spider-Man.
Oh, come on, I can imagine it.
You can imagine it, but I wouldn't try it.
And then finally the ghost bat.
Yeah. Scary bat that you don't want to breathe its own air.
So moving on to round 2. And first up is the Tasmanian tiger.
Tasmanian tiger. Thought to be extinct, though some people still believe it to exist in remote wilderness regions, the last confirmed specimen died in 1936. Large, powerful, carnivorous marsupial named for the stripes on its back. Also known as a Tasmanian wolf. It's a tiger.
The Tasmanian tiger. Next up is the flamboyant cuttlefish.
A flamboyant cuttlefish. Beautiful but highly poisonous cephalopod that lives in tropical waters. Bright colours warn predators that it would make a nasty meal. As dangerous as its close cousin, the blue-ringed octopus, although it doesn't have a venomous bite, eating the fish or flesh of this dainty beauty would be lethal. So don't eat it. Not a very tasty one.
I wouldn't even consider eating it anyways.
Oh. Is that because you don't like squid and cuttlefish?
No, I don't eat live fish.
Well,
Or
live.
fish that have just been caught.
What, you want an old stale one?
No, I prefer the ones in Aldi, thanks. The flamboyant cuttlefish.
For the ones that have been pre-cut and cooked in batter.
Yes, basically. Next up is the sawfish.
The sawfish. Family of rays with long rostrum bordered by sharp teeth. Among the world's largest fish, can grow up to 6.5 meters. Not usually aggressive towards humans, but enormously powerful when captured and threatened. The sawfish.
The sawfish. Next up, this is bull shark.
A bull shark. Most infamous and feared shark in Australian waters. Inhabits not only the ocean, but swims up freshwater rivers and canals as well. Frequents areas where people swim. Highly aggressive and attacks humans in shallow water. There you go. Don't go swimming in the canals.
the bull shark. We don't need another rendition of Jaws.
Dun, dun, dun.
And then finally, the Xanthid crab.
Xanthid.
I think that's how you pronounce it.
Xanthid, yeah.
Xanthid crab.
Xanthid. I'll go with it. Often brightly coloured, highly poisonous crab. Mussels and egg mass contain some of the most toxic poisons known, capable of shutting down the nervous system, leading to paralysis and death. Oh, yeah, so don't go near it. It just looks like a normal crab as well.
The Xanthid crab. So that's the end of this round. So can I have a recap? First up was the Tasmanian tiger.
Thought to be extinct.
Then we had the flamboyant cuttlefish.
Yeah, don't eat it.
Don't eat it. It is. Then we had the sawfish.
6.3 meters long.
Then we had the this is bull shark.
Can swim up rivers and canals and other waterways.
And then finally, the Xanthid crab.
Very poisonous. May cause death.
And it's a very snappy fella. Now moving on to round 3.
You could say he's crabulous. That's a Moana one.
First up is the platypus.
A platypus. Are these dangerous? Egg-laying mammal or monotreme. Like the encada, one of the few species of venomous mammals. Male has a venom gland attached to the spur in its hind leg. Won't kill you, but can cause swelling and agonizing pain. Yeah. So best not mess with it.
The platypus. Next up, we have the blue dragon.
Ooh, a blue dragon. Quite pretty thing. Strikingly beautiful cobalt blue species of sea slug, sometimes called a sea lizard. Eats the string cells of blue-toothed jellyfish and then stores them in its own body for defense. Sting is more painful than a blue bottle's, as its striking cells are more highly concentrated. These little lubricants can pack a wallop. Ooh, there you go. The blue dragon.
Next up is the grey-headed flying fox.
A grey-headed flying fox. Australia's largest bat. Travels great distances at night to feed on pollen, nectar and fruit. Loss of habitat has brought it into suburbia and into more frequent contact with humans. Can transmit fatal diseases to people through scratches and bites. Do not handle them. You got a warning on that one.
Grey-headed flying fox. Next up, we have the crown of thorns starfish.
Large, echinodon named for its long venomous spines. Feeds on coral, but also dangerous to humans. Venom can cause persistent bleeding, as well as nausea and vomiting, and sharp striking pains lasting weeks. Ooh, so don't go near it. If you don't want to be in agony for a while.
Yeah, don't wear it as a crown, is what it's saying.
No, that would be dreadful.
And then finally, we have the giant centipede.
Solitary, nocturnal arthropod that lives under rocks and logs. Curved, venomous claws. Bite may cause excruciating pain, which has been reported to feel like a burning flame.
Ooh. Giant centipede. So that's the end of this round. So can I have a recap? First up was the platypus.
Yeah, cute but poisonous.
Then we had the blue dragon.
Which is actually a slug.
Then we had the grey-headed flying fox.
With the warning that says, do not handle.
Then we had the crown of thorns starfish.
It can cause pain for up to 2 weeks.
Don't wear them.
Yep.
And then finally, the giant centipede.
Scary thing.
So now moving on to round 4. First up, we have the wombat.
A wombat. Herbivorous marsupial, equipped with extremely powerful jaws and sharp incisor teeth for chewing. Formidable when agitated or cornered. Able to crush predators that enter its burrow with a cartilaginous plate on its back. Powerful and muscular, capable of running 30 kilometers per hour. Wow. It's a fast little thing as well.
The wombat. Next up, we have the common deaf adder.
The common death adder. Okay, that causes common deaths. One of the top 10 deadliest land snakes in the world. Lives in forests and grasslands. Master of camouflage that lies in wait for prey. Bites often result from unsuspecting victims stepping onto this reptile. Large fangs for its small size. Venom can cause paralysis and death. Hence its name.
The common deaf adder. Next up is the eastern red scorpionfish.
Predatory reef fish with a bright red body colour that warns off danger. Large mouth to swallow prey whole. Armed with 12 venomous dorsal spines that can deliver an extremely painful sting along with severe swelling and inflammations. There you go, the eastern red scorpionfish.
Next up is the red-crowned toadlet.
Red-crowned toadlet. Small amphibian that is actually a frog, not a toad. Sports distinctive orange and red markings. Bright colour advertises its toxicity. Enough poison to kill a predator if eaten. Toxins are similar to those of poison dart frogs and affect the heart and skeletal muscles. Avoid them at all cost.
The red-crowned toadlet. And the final one in this round, we have the Australian magpie.
Highly aggressive and territorial bird, particularly in breeding season, when defending its nest, will swoop down with a great speed and ferocity, attacking with a sharp beak that is capable of blinding a person. Ooh, there you go. An aggressive magpie.
That's the end of this round, so can we have a
Recap.
recap? First up was the wombat.
And we're up to 30 kilometers an hour.
Then we had the common death adder.
Yeah, may cause death.
Then we had the eastern red scorpionfish.
May also cause death.
Then we had the red crown toadlet.
It's actually a frog.
And then finally, the Australian magpie.
Aggressive flying bird.
So now we move on to round 5. Was it 5?
Yeah. Well, 4 was the last round, so this one will be indeed 5.
Yeah. First up, we have the Australian paralysis tick.
Australian paralysis tick. Insidious acronid that sucks blood from its host, becoming engorged as it feeds. Bite initially causes local itching, but if the tick remains attached, flu-like symptoms, rash, unsteady gait, weak limbs, and paralysis can persist. Ooh. Yeah, let's get it off quickly.
It's all in the name. Paralysis tick. Next up, we have the fire coral.
Fire coral. Despite its name, it's not really a true coral. More closely related to sea jellies and stinging anemones. Often mistaken for seaweed, not dangerously toxic, but expect intense pain on contact. There you go. Not toxic, but does cause pain.
Next up is the blue bottle. It's not an actual bottle.
Surface-dwelling ocean stingers that form huge armadas along Australia's coastline, often blown into beaches by the wind, blue-coloured bottle-shaped body with a long tentacle filled with painful stinging cells. Even when dead, it can still be dangerous. Some species have multiple tentacles and are potentially lethal. Dun, dun, dun. The blue ball.
The blue bottle.
Not to be mistaken with the fly.
Or an actual bottle.
That is blue.
Next up, we have the great white shark.
The great white shark. Okay. Most feared of all sharks. Responsible for more than 1/3 of all shark attacks on humans. Although people are not usually on the menu, great whites will take a simple bite of unsuspecting swimmers and surfers to test how they taste, often leaving behind an horrific mess. So, yeah, it just has a bit of a taste, but with its razor-sharp teeth, leaves a bit of a mess.
And the final one of this round is the blue-ringed octopus.
Small, nocturnal mollusk found in the rocky shoreline of southern Australia. Extremely venomous. Dull in colour until it is threatened. Then bright blue rings suddenly appear. Bite leads to paralysis and immediate death. Victims can survive if they are helped to breathe. Wow. Immediate death.
Blue-ringed octopus. That's the end of this round, so can we have a
recap?
First up was the Australian paralysis tick.
As its name says, may cause paralysis.
Then we had the fire coral.
Feels like fire when you touch it.
Then we had the blue bottle.
Poisonous jellyfish-like creature.
And it's not a bottle.
No.
Then we had the great white shark.
Responsible for 1/3 of all shark bites, attacks on humans.
And then finally, the blue-ringed octopus.
Yeah. Causes immediate death. There's no hanging about, you're dead. Unless you've been helped to breathe.
Now moving on to round 6.
So we're about halfway through now, are we?
About
So
halfway
people
through
should
now.
start to be getting lines. Feel free to let us know if you do get one.
First up is the tiger shark.
Tiger shark. Predatory shark, second only to the great white shark in size and number of attacks. The garbage guts of the ocean, it eats almost anything, including people. With their less discerning dining habits, they are less likely than other sharks to swim away after the first attack. One scary apex predator, worthy of respect. So that one, yeah, it's not as fussy. It won't taste you and go away. It'll taste you and then finish the bite. Nom nom nom.
Next up is the Australian tarantula.
Tarantula. Australian tarantula. A large aggressive spider found in tropical northern Australia, also known as the whistling spider, for the whistling or hissing noise it makes when alarmed. Lives underground in a long chamber covered in silken webs. Long, powerful fangs carry toxic venom. Bites may cause extreme pain, nausea. Do not handle. Yeah, it's not a cute spider that you can stroke. It may cause you a lot of pain.
Next up is the kangaroo.
The kangaroo. Male kangaroos are territorial and constantly fight. Can be extremely aggressive, biting, scratching and kicking. Powerful toes can slash like a saber. Often flees into water if threatened, using forepaws to drown any predator that it follows it. There you go. It's a lovely chap, the kangaroo.
Next up is the emu.
Australia's tallest bird. Male incubates the egg and looks after the chicks, refusing to eat or drink for 55 days in the process. Can be aggressive towards humans if approached with young chicks, capable of inflicting injury with powerful legs and sharp talon-like toes. Has also been known to attack children. This is a little caveat at the end.
Anyway, the emu.
Yeah, goes for the weakest one.
The final one in this round is the marbled scorpion.
Marbled scorpion. Most commonly encountered scorpion in Australia, often found in suburbia, in cool, wet habitats. Sting is similar to that of a bee. It won't kill you, but it's painful enough to ruin your day. Uses black light to spot scorpions at night. Use a black light to spot scorpions at night, as they are fluorescent. There you go. The marble scorpion.
Marble scorpion. That's the end of this round. So can we have a recap? First up was the tiger shark.
Second only to the great white shark.
Then we had the Australian tarantula.
Yeah, do not handle.
Then we had the kangaroo.
A lovely chap.
Then we had the emu.
Likes to attack children. That's what it said.
I know, but I don't want to think about that. And then finally, the marbled scorpion.
And to spot scorpions at night, you use a UV torch. They are ultraviolet.
So now moving on to round 7.
Yeah.
And first up is the mosquito.
A mosquito. Arguably the most dangerous creature in Australia, perhaps in the world. These blood-sucking insects are responsible for transmitting many of the diseases in humans, including dengue fever, Ross River virus, and the Australian encephalitis. Variable symptoms, sometimes leading to human fatalities. The mosquito.
Next up is the itchy grub.
Itchy grub. Also known as a processionary caterpillar. These hairy larval insects form massive congregations and travel in conga style in long lines. Later metamorphosis into moths. If touched, their long hairs can cause intense itching pain, rashes and swelling. Symptoms may last for days. An itchy grub.
Next up is the sulfur-crested cockatoo.
Commonly kept as caged pets, but often take dislike to individual people. Armed with a powerful beak that is capable of chewing through wire, will bite and attack, and can take your finger clean off. Never trust a pet cockatoo on your shoulder, as it's asking for trouble. Might take your ear off.
Next up, we have the stingray.
Stingray. Bit of bird up there. Where are we at? Oh, it's not there. It's not there. It's not, oh, there it is. Cartilaginous fish that generally does not attack people. If provoked or threatened, some species can stiffen the barbs on their tail and strike, inflicting potentially fatal injuries. The stingray. So it's quite friendly unless you disturb it.
And then finally, we have the thorny devil.
Thorny devil. Latin name for this dragon lizard refers to the brutal ancient god, Horridus. Spikes are used to deter predators, but looks can be deceiving. Deadly only to ants, consuming 2,000 in one day. Spines are used to soak up water via a capillary action. Yeah, so they don't drink water, they suck it up using their spines.
That's the end of this round. Can we have a
Recap.
First up was the mosquito.
Arguably the most deadliest animal.
Then we had the itchy grub.
Yeah, it causes itching for weeks.
Then we had the sulfur-crested cockatoo.
Can bite your finger off.
Then we had the stingray.
Friendly until disturbed.
And then finally, the thorny devil.
Which drinks with its thorns or spikes.
So now moving on to round 8. And the first one is the cone snail.
Cone snail. Beautiful but predatory mollusk. Highly prized by shell collectors. Attacks swiftly with a needle-like venomous tooth. Like a harpoon, stings can cause numbness, spreading from the mouth, slurred speech, and blurred and double vision. Can be fatal to humans. The cons now. It is a rather pretty show, isn't it?
Next up is the dingo.
A dingo. Australia's naturalised wolf. Never domesticated. Must be respected and avoided. Do not feed or approach. Even dingoes, used to human contact, have been known to attack and kill people when hungry. Okay, so it can't be domesticated, basically. Don't trust it, it may eat you.
Next up is the saltwater crocodile.
World's largest living reptile. Maximum record length is 8.6 meters, with the most powerful bite of any animal. Exceptional strength and a stealthy predator, capable of deadly speeds. Usually hunts at night, feeding on fish, mammals and birds. The saltwater crocodile.
Next up is the wedge-tailed eagle.
Australia's largest bird of prey, a massive 2.7 meter wingspan, extraordinarily keen eyesight. If human, could read a newspaper from the other end of a football field. So if it was human, it could read a paper from the other end of a football field. Indigenous stories depict young children being carried away by this raptor, powerful enough to attack adult kangaroos. A lot of these deadliest creatures like kids. Tasty little morsels there.
Okay, we'll just leave it at that. And now the final one of this round is, I'm not lying, fish.
It's a fish. A spectacular tropical reef fish, not usually aggressive, but if threatened, will varnish its venomous spines. Stinging can cause excruciating pain, swelling and redness, as well as symptoms of shock. Spines can be harmful even after death. The lionfish.
So that's the end of this round. So can we have a
Recap.
First up was the cone snail.
People like to collect the shells.
Then we had the dingo.
Yeah, don't trust it.
Then we had the saltwater crocodile.
Can grow up to 8.6 meters long.
Then we had the wedge-tailed eagle.
Another animal that likes to eat children. I'll carry them away.
There it is. And then finally, I'm not lying, fish.
Could still be dangerous when dead.
And you're not lying.
No, it's a fact. Void.
Now moving on to round 9. And the first one is the echidna.
Echidna. Egg-laying mammal found only in Australia and New Guinea. Long tongue is a perfect weapon to hunt down ants and termites, covered in spines which are actually modified hairs. Non-venomous, but spines will puncture skin and cause bleeding and considerable pain. Releases foul-smelling extract if touched. So it cuts you and then farts on you, basically.
That's just mean. The echidna. Next one is the inland taipan. Taipan.
The inland taipan, could be. The most toxic snake on the planet. Lives in the most inhospitable remote regions of Australian outback. Shy by nature and rarely encountered, but attacks with great speed and accuracy if provoked. If bitten by this snake, seek immediate medical attention. Otherwise, you will most certainly die. There you go. You don't get much more of a warning than that.
Next up is the Red Bull ant.
Red Bull ant. Sponsored by Red Bull. Aggressive and unpredictable. Also known as the bulldog ant. Some of the most toxic venom in the insect world. Many people are allergic to its bite, which can cause life-threatening and prosthetic shock. There you go, that red ant bull. Red bull ant.
Next up is the flower urchin.
A flower urchin. Unobtrusive, somewhat pretty endoderm that inhabits coral reefs and other rocky and sandy areas. Has spikes that can penetrate soft skin. Latches into victims with modified tube feet and injects venom. Sting causes severe pain and paralysis, which may cause drowning. So it gives you paralysis in the water and you could potentially drown. Nice chappy.
And the final one in this round, we have the box jellyfish.
One of the most venomous marine creatures known to mankind, also known as a sea wasp. Frequents tropical waters of northern Australia. Long tentacles carry venom that causes excruciating pain, leading to cardiovascular collapse and death if in under 5 minutes. So you've got 5 minutes to get treated, basically.
That's the end of this round. So can we have a
Recap.
First up was the echidna,
Yeah, cut you then thoughts.
which is very rude. Then we had the inland tapian.
The most toxic snake in the world, or venomous.
Then we had the Red Bull ant.
Yeah, that's not a very nice creature.
And sponsored by Red Bull.
Possibly.
Then we had the flower urchin.
It gives you paralysis in water and you could potentially drown.
And then finally, the box jellyfish.
Get stung, you got 5 minutes.
Now moving on to round 10.
So people should definitely be getting lines by now. And we may even have someone with a house out there.
First up is the tree guana.
Tree guana.
Tree guana.
Tree goanna. Where you at? Second largest lizard in Australia, capable of reaching 2 meters in length. Carnivorous, scavengers for food around human campgrounds. Sharp, powerful claws that rapidly rip through human skin. There you are. Don't go near them. A tree goanna.
Next up is the mouse spider.
A mouse spider. Highly aggressive spider with huge fangs. Extremely toxic venom, but rarely injected into humans, though too often dry bite humans, or thought to often dry bite humans, reserving their small amount of venom for their next insect meal. So it chooses whether to give you venom or not, basically. It might bite you, but without venom, or it might bite you with venom. Like a Russian roulette of the spider wolf.
Next up, we have the koala.
A koala. Looks like a cute teddy bear and has a reputation for being lazy and sleeping all the time. But this is far from the truth. If cornered or startled, can cause some serious damage with powerful limbs and razor-sharp claws. Also bites, grunts, and urinates to deter predators. So it bites, grunts at you, and then wheezes on you. The lovely, cute koalas.
Next up, we have the quokka.
Quokka. So that'll be in Q. OPQ. Small, mostly nocturnal marsupial with a reputation as the happiest animal on earth, but may become quite pugnacious when interacting with humans, especially children. Can kick and bite and grab with its powerful forelimbs. Is bet not to handle wildlife. Another Australian animal that doesn't like kids.
And the final one in this round, we have the coffin ray.
Coffin ray. Small electric ray that likes to hide in sand and mud close to the shore, also known as the numbfish. Subdues prey and defends itself with a self-generating electric shock, which has more energy than a mains power outlet. Coffin rays will knock you sideways with their electric jolt. Do not mess with them. There you go.
So that's it for this round. So can we have a
Recap.
First up, we had the tree iguana.
Yeah, quite lethal. Likes to eat round campsites.
Then we had the mouse spider.
Chooses whether to give you venom or not when it bites.
Then we had the koala.
Not cute.
Then we had the quokka.
Another child-hating Australian animal.
And then finally, the coffin ray.
Can give you a massive electric shock.
So now moving on to round 11.
It's round 11, so definitely we're in the area of people getting a full house here.
First up is the red-bellied black snake.
Red-bellied black snake. Okay, dangerously venomous, shiny black snake with a pink or red belly. Shy by nature and not usually aggressive, but can attack if threatened. Bites and chews with a surprising ferocity. Venom causes bleeding, swelling at bite site, nausea and vomiting, headache, abdominal pain and swelling. Best avoided. So, loads of side effects from that one.
Next up, we have the stonefish.
The stonefish. Most venomous of all fish. Named for its ability to camouflage itself as a rock. Can survive out of water for 24 hours. Armed with 13 needle-sharp venomous spines. Venom causes agonizing pain and swelling and can be fatal. Walk barefoot in the tidal zone at your own peril. Dun, dun, dun.
Stonefish.
Stonefish.
Next up, we have the redback spider.
Infamous Australian arachnid, known for living in outdoor toilets. Highly venomous and feared in Australia folklore. Cousin to the black widow, only the female is dangerous. Small fangs, many bites are infected or infective and cause no harm. Most bites are ineffective, and cause no harm. Some, however, may cause serious illness and death. The redback spider.
Next up is the Tasmanian devil.
Tasmanian devil. Carnivorous marsupial, once more widespread but now found only in Tasmania. Powerful open-jaw bite that slams down on prey with a massive force. Guaranteed to snap the bones of any unexpected snack or human hand. Spine-thrilling attack, snarl, one scary animal when messed with. Yeah, so don't pee it off.
And then finally, we have the Orcandi jellyfish.
Yeah, one of the smallest jellyfish in the world and one of the most deadly. Frequents shallow tropical marine waters. No larger than a thumbnail and difficult to see. Sting causes intense pain, nausea, swelling, anxiety and rapid heart rate, and possibly respiratory failure and cardiac arrest. From all the size of your thumbnail.
That's it for this round, so can we have a
Recap.
First up was the red-bellied black snake.
Yeah, I can't remember much about that one.
Then we had the stonefish.
Yeah. So don't walk in shallow waters, I think was the warning with that one.
Then we had the redback spider.
Can be harmless, but also may cause death.
Then we had the Tasmanian devil.
Can break the bones in your hand if bitten.
And then finally, the Orcandi jellyfish.
Size of a thumbnail, but is very dangerous.
So now moving on to round 12.
Is this the final round?
This is the penultimate round.
Penultimate round, okay.
And first up, we have the jack jumper ant.
A jack jumper ant. Okay. Extremely aggressive ant. Stings can cause a dangerous allergic reaction in humans, which can lead to death from anaphylactic shock. Grabs its victim with huge jaws and injects venom from retractable stingers in its tail. The jack jumper ant.
Next up, we have the sugar glider.
Sugar glider. Tiny tree-dwelling marsupials can glide up to 50 meters from tree to tree. Membrane between its fore and hind legs allows it to glide with great distances. Makes a terrifying growl and growl so loud you would swear it comes from a much larger animal. Sharp claws and gnashing teeth. Makes a cute little possum, a creature not to be messed with.
Next up is the masked lapwing.
A masked lapwing. Also known as a spur-winged plover. Usually harmless, but becomes very aggressive in breeding season. Nests on open ground, fiercely protective of its chicks. The masked lapwing.
Next up, we have the tiger snake.
Tiger snake. front-fanged snake with a fearsome reputation. Dangerously venomous and highly volatile if provoked. Frequents wet habitats where frogs its favored food. Where frogs are its favorite food. Abandoned, commonly found around human habitation. Rises up like a cobra and attacks if threatened. The tiger snake.
And the final one of this round, we have the mandarin fish.
Mandarin fish. One of the prettiest in the ocean. This fish has looks that can kill. Devoid of scale, it covers itself in a sticky mucus for defense. Armed with a dorsal spine that injects toxic venom, dangerous to handle and to eat, but highly prized in the aquarium trade. The mandarin fish.
So that's it for this round. Can we have a
Recap.
First up was the jack jumper ant.
Yeah, avoid at all costs.
Then we had the sugar glider.
Yeah. A flying possum.
Then we had the masked lapwing.
Yeah, protective when in mating season.
Then we had the tiger snake.
Rises up like a cobra.
And then finally, the mandarin fish.
People like to collect them and put them in tanks.
So now we move on to the final round.
So after this round, you will have house. If you haven't, you'll have to go back through and see where you missed out.
And first up is the cassowary.
Cassowary, the world's most dangerous bird. Endangered rainforest species. Male, incubates the eggs and raises the chicks. Very aggressive in breeding season. In a third toe of each foot is tipped with a dangerous dagger-like talon. The cassowary.
Next up is the moray eel.
A moray eel. Opportunistic predator that ambushes its prey. Sharp teeth and powerful jaws can lacerate muscles and skin, causing severe damage. Some species cover their skin in a protective mucus that is toxic to humans. The moray eel.
Next up is the tawny frogmouth.
Barney frogmouth. Despite its appearance, it's not an owl, but a type of nightjar. Not equipped with talons to defend itself, but can inflict a nasty bite with its bright yellow, gaping mouth if disturbed or harassed. Has the usual habitat of blasting fecal matter. Has a usual habit of blasting fecal matter at the face in danger. So if it's threatened, it flings its poo at you, basically.
And the final one of this bingo is the bristleworm.
A bristleworm. Ocean dwelling, a segmented worm, also called a fireworm or sea mouse, covered in hard bristles, which if touched will break off in the skin and cause extreme irritation and painful burning. If stung, remove spines immediately. Ouch. There you go, the bristleworm. So, you will undoubtedly have house by now. Yeah, thank you everyone for joining in this week. Did we do a recap? We did.
Yeah, we'll do a quick recap.
Recap.
First up was the cassowary.
It has a talon on its claw.
Then we had the moray eel.
Can sometimes cover itself in a mucus toxic to humans.
Then we had the tawny frogmouth.
That flings its spear at you.
And then finally, the bristleworm.
Yeah, that can sting you, but you have to take the spikes out. So, we are done
We are
this
done.
week. So that was Australia's Deadly Animals Bingo. How long do you think it was?
I think it was nearly an hour.
It was. I didn't look at the clock when I said how long it was going to be, but we have been live for an hour, so yeah, so just under an hour probably it was. There you go, not bad timing.
Yeah, not bad.
So we'll be back again in 4 weeks' time with another bingo for you. Until then, ta-ta for now.
See you next time.